Hello again, everyone. This is George Packard with Family Lawn and Landscape, and welcome to another yet exciting edition of Shop Talk. Today we're going to talk about different ways your employees can steal from you. This is something that's come up a lot. I get asked this a lot, when I run into people and on YouTube and whatnot about how many times have your employees stolen from you, what have they done, what ways, this, that, and the other. So I thought I would finally just put together a video on this and just share it with you. It does happen, obviously. Theft is a bad thing, but it happens, Right from the very beginning, I'm just going to tell you the different things that have happened to me and some of the things that you can watch for and help improve your business efficiency, okay? You got to make money and employees will take it from you. That's just the way it is. So you got to watch that. Here's what we do. Number one, time, okay? Time is a big deal because employees, here's a good example. I have one guy I was talking to the other day that told me that his guys don't get to the job sites till like 8:30 every morning. So they show up at 7 o'clock in the morning and they don't get to a job site till 8:30. Well, what did they do for an hour and a half? Okay. Once I put the GPS units in my trucks, I was able to really monitor this better and see what was happening. A lot of times my guys would screw off 45 minutes in the morning, screw off, an hour and a half for lunch. They would screw off another, half an hour or 45 minutes or an hour even sometimes between 4 and 5 o'clock or 6 and 7 or whatever. But it's all time that you were paying your guys for. And I didn't realize that till I put the GPS tracking units in our trucks that I really was able to see this. But if you figure it out, even if they robbed you out of 2 hours of time, 2 hours throughout that day where they just screwed off basically and you paid them. And if you just say you're paying your guys $10 an hour, well, that's $20. Okay. So now you got two guys in the truck. Okay. So you got two guys in the truck. This guy just took you for $20. This guy took you for $20. Now that's $40 every day they're working for you that they do that to you. $40 every day. So if you want to spend $250 a week on screwing around with these guys that are doing that stuff, there's part of your loss. That's money that's taken directly out of your pocket, okay? You can't afford to let that stuff happen. Okay, they cost you customers. There's another thing. I have preached this 100 times. Guys don't understand my fine system and why I fine guys the way I do, but let me tell you something. If every customer is worth $1,000 a year to me on average, okay? They're worth $1,000 a year, and you screw around and you cost me that client, you just cost me $1,000 a year. Now, if I keep that customer for 5 years, that's $5,000, okay? That you're going to cost me because you don't want to do your job. Believe it or not, that's ripping you off because it took a lot for you to get that customer. A lot of advertising, going to see them, you name it. You know what it takes to get customers and you know what it takes to keep them. And you do really good work for them and all of a sudden you put a couple of shitty guys in the truck and they do bad stuff and your customer leaves. They ripped you off that customer, okay? Bottom line. Ruin your equipment. That's another thing. If the guys aren't taking care of it, they're not checking the oils on it, they're not changing the oils the way they need to be, and just taking care of them in there. I don't know how many backpack blowers we used to go through where the guys would just grab them and just throw them in the back of the truck, and they were all busted to shit. They looked terrible, just horrible. I couldn't believe, and of course I'm bouncing back and forth between Wisconsin and Florida, and so I'm trying to keep an eye on this stuff, and they'd be new when I left, and when I come back, they're all beat to shit, and nothing works, and they're all duct taped together, and it looks terrible, and I just couldn't believe it. So that was one of the main reasons I got out of the buying all the big blowers and whatnot. I'm not going to spend $600 on a backpack blower and have my guys just beat the shit out of it, okay? I go with the cheaper blowers, go spend $250 on the blowers, and they work fine. It may not blow as hard, this, that, and the other. I know there's going to be, I'm going to get comments both ways on that, but I'll tell you what, I just get tired of that stuff, and I get tired of the guys beating the crap out of the equipment. Stuff costs you money, so that's another way the employees attack you, okay? And I hate to say it, I make it seem bad, but I'm just telling you my experience with employees. I would love to sit back and just say, oh, everything's great, hunky-dory, we just have wonderful employees, but I'd be absolutely lying to you because we don't. And I don't think there's a company out there that's a major player anywhere that doesn't have a ton of employees that they'd love to get rid of. But the problem is it's workforce development. It's hard to find good workers, okay? They don't do this stuff. That's a whole topic for a whole nother video, so let's stay focused today. All right, example. I'm going to give you an example, one that really bit me in the ass. And I had this new NPR Misuse quad cab truck, 24-footer. I had a beautiful landscape bed on the back. The whole truck is 85 grand, okay? My guys in, I don't know how long, I can't even remember anymore, but it was a very short period of time. They ran the thing out of oil, okay? Blew up the motor, it cost me $15,000. That pisses me off, to no end. Mowers, I've had them blow up mowers by running them out of oil. So you really got to stay after these guys on that crap. We find them. If we walk up and we pull a dipstick on a truck and it's low on oil, $50 fine. We pull it on the mower, $50 fine. I mean, you can't, or whatever. I think it's 50 or 25. I can't remember what it is. But anyway, you just can't let them get away with that stuff. You got to hammer them, okay? You got to get on these guys. That's your equipment. That's a lot of money. You can't afford to go buy new mowers and new trucks and stuff, okay? So pay attention to that with your guys. Another way they steal from you is they'll steal your clients. They'll literally walk up and steal your clients. I don't know how many times I've fired guys that turned back around, went back and tried to take my clients from me, and they were successful to a certain degree. They would take some here and there. They basically ended up with a handful of them, which they lost anyway, and they ended up coming back to me anyway once they saw what a piece of shit the guy was to begin with, even though I tried to tell the customer that. But here again, it's another way they steal from you. Let's see, they steal your tools. This is a beauty. This is a dandy. I found out what's going on. Had a guy one time tell me that we lost two trimmers. We lost two trimmers, okay, within 2 weeks. And he claimed they were stolen off the truck. Well, after these two guys that were working together, one of them decided to rat on the other one because he was pissed at him. And he told me, he said, you never lost those things. He took them to a pawn shop and got money for them. So this is another thing that these pricks do, okay? They steal from you. So you got to watch that too. Pay attention to these guys and make them accountable. Everything on our truck is locked down. And if anything gets stolen off of that truck, they're paying me for it because they didn't lock it down, okay? Hold them accountable. That's what we're talking about there, okay? It's a good idea, so remember that. Let's see. They would get paid cash on the side. That's another thing. They'd be mowing a job over here and a customer would, or somebody who's not even our customer would just come walking up to them, say, hey, how much would you charge me to mow my grass? And he's like, I don't know, give me 40 bucks cash or 30 bucks cash. And all right, and they go over there and they do that. Well, then they're doing it every week for the guy, or every 2 weeks for the guy or whatever. And they're using your equipment to do it, your trucks, your trailers, your mowers, all your stick equipment, and you're paying them labor on top of it while they're out there making money for themselves on the side. So just a bullshit deal. So keep an eye on that. GPS tracking units. I'm telling you, pay attention to those. Get those in your trucks. Let's see. They steal your tools. We kind of talked a little bit about the trimmers like that. It's not just the trimmers. It's wrench sets, drills, impacts, all that stuff tends to walk away. It's just the way it is. Office equipment. I am surprised, but sure as shit, we've lost office equipment. We've lost a lot of things that have come up, rolls of stamps and things like that and boxes of envelopes and whatnot. I mean, and even there again too, time, go on the computers, go behind your office people once, just go behind them and check their histories and see what they've been on all day, see what they're doing all day, if they're screwing off or if they're actually doing their job and working on shit, it makes a big difference. So pay attention to that stuff. Credit card. Credit cards are something that we fought with for a long time. They would use it for personal use, okay? So they would be out there using my card, taking people out to dinner. You could tell one of the guys would go to the bars, there'd be an $80 bar tab, and then there's a motel bill at the end. Well, you know what he did? He went and got lucky at the bar and took her to the motel, didn't have the cash to pay for everything, so he uses the credit card and hoping I wouldn't find out about it. Well, I did, and he's gone, and I just don't put up with that crap. So you got to watch that kind of stuff. All personal use. Watch them, guys. If they have a card, make sure you're paying attention to your cards. Look on there, get your credit card statement, and look, especially when it comes to fuel and things like that. Another thing they would do, when they would go get fuel, they would go in there buying waters and packs of cigarettes and this and that. And until I caught them doing that, now they stopped. But before they did it all the time, and that was money right out of my pocket that they were not telling me about, okay? And if I hadn't been checking, I would never have known that. So, that being said, the other thing to watch is for gas. Now, when those guys fill up. They're supposed to fill up every morning. That's what they're supposed to do. If all of a sudden your card is used on a Sunday at, noon or 4 or 5 in the afternoon or something, you're saying, hey, wait a minute, none of the trucks should be out at all. Check your GPS unit. Did any of the trucks move? Nope, trucks never moved, but yet fuel was used. Why was fuel used? Do you know why? Because they put it in their own personal vehicle. That's why. Keep an eye on that. Let's see. What else is there? stick equipment, the mowers. Yeah, the thing with that, again, the stealing of that stuff, it happens all the freaking time. There's a million ways that people can steal from you. And every time you see, it seems like you find a way to stop them, they come up with a new way. You know, I don't care how hard you try, employees try just as hard to find other ways around it, okay? Hopefully these hints will, you know, give you something to look at and new ways to look at things, because if you're not looking at this stuff, you don't realize what the bottom line is, and the bottom line could be you're losing a lot of money, okay? Even if it's just time. And I can't stress this enough. We salaries our guys in because we don't want to put up with that crap. We're not going to do that. We're not just going to play that game anymore. Everybody's salaried in at a certain price. That's what it is. You're required to get your jobs done X amount of time, and you got to do a good job. You know, we have systems for everything. If you're neglecting to do this and you let your employees come and go as they please, you're wondering at the end of the day why there's no money in the bank. This is one of the reasons why, because employees will take advantage of you. Anyway, if you have any comments, leave them down below. Otherwise, it's George Packard with another exciting edition of Shop Talk. Ouch, God damn it. Talk to you later. Thanks.